So when I share, I'm gonna have to ask your permission. Let's see. Anyway, thank you, Scott, for the beautiful grounding meditation. Before we start sharing our information, our knowledge, and welcome everyone. It's very nice to have you here, especially Philip in his beautiful 40th birthday. It was yesterday, but it's a special still. And to have you, Susan, here with him. And welcome everyone. So here we are. We're gonna start, or we go from the heart to the mind to get some information and connect both heart and mind with the astrology. Let me share. Oh, sorry. No, wait a minute. Because before that, I already forgot. Before that, we have also Benedict. I don't know where you are. And as you know, Benedict is going to start tomorrow a program about the nodes, connecting with the nodes from the Yosoy Task that is coming to go and take the crystals. But I'm going to pass to her first. She's going to introduce herself and is going to share a little bit about what is her program and what is she going to bring to all of us to participate. So she's welcome to the group. She's welcome to the astrology. And also, we connect everything. We have the astrology, we have the other tasks, we have the gene, we have all the modalities are one way, and it's like the self-love, the self-knowledge, and the ascension and the Yosoy, to bring the Yosoy and the connection to, so we can go to the next step. So Benedict, where are you?
Hello. Here
Welcome.
I am.
Welcome. We are all yours. We can wait to hear what you have to offer us.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Benedicte Benin, and a huge thanks to Barbara for inviting me and to give me this opportunity to share with you the work on the notes that actually is starting tomorrow. On Sunday, the 18th of February, 7:00 p.m. Central European Time. That is, I guess that is 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. East Coast. First, a little bit about my background and experience with this kind of energetical work and why I connect with you. I have followed Matthias de Stefano for some years and are really dedicated to work with the nodes and have been that with the lakes and tectonic plates and what's not. And I'm guided to do that in the following years. And I'm also very into astrology. And I feel that the 12 systems, the 12 signs of astrology are really linked into the body of the earth, the nodes, the main nodes. And a little tiny bit of me that I feel like is a polite thing to share in a forum with us regarding astrology is that I have my sun in Aquarius, 9th, 10th, and 11th house, and my ascendant is in Gemini, and the moon is in Leo. So that was my signatures so far. As Barbara told you, Arsayan Foundation has this beautiful project now launching in Equinox, putting these crystal balls that were activated in the Antarctic some years ago, and it will be placed in the equinoxes and the solstices. My idea is to prepare this web for Arsayan's project, and to harmonize the web that for me is not working properly. I don't know if we have the time, so if you want me to share screen, just give you some information.
Yes, take your time. You can share a screen. I think you need to ask. Yes,
Host
yes, of course.
disabled participants should, okay.
Scott, can you make her host or something? Scott?
If not, it's not a huge problem because I posted the information regarding the dodecahedron and the icosahedron. Okay, you are now a host, then I can probably share screen. Okay. Firstly, what is a net? I don't know what you guys know about the net. Most of you have probably worked with Yosoy regarding nets earlier. So I just wanted to, like, some of this are quite heavy. Like, what is a node? It's the conjunction of at least one Lie line and another Lie line. That makes this node like a knot. And the more Lie line that are intertwined, the more potent the node is. And this makes like small and huge portals. The structures that we will be working on this year is for the dodecahedron, which you see in purple, and then the icosahedron. Together they make this sphere. Is it that sorry, my English is not the best, which makes like this total connection around the Earth. And then I also posted, in honor of the foundation, I wanted to make it as much as aligned and as easy as possible to follow. So this is the appendix from the Al-Sayan Foundation about the dodecahedron that they will focus on. And it's quite a lot of pages. Here you see the main structure, and I will do it really easy. We do one node each week, starting with Barrow, and it's a beautiful work the foundation have done here. You can just like move down and go through, starting with Barrow, reading a little bit about Barrow at first, seeing the nice pictures so you get like the feel of the node. What is the surroundings? Like, this is the preparation for each week. And then the following up week, in 8 days to come, we follow up with 4 corners, etc. So like that will be the drive. And then after this 20 weeks with the dodecahedron, we follow up with the icosahedron, which has these 12 nodes. Normally, I would have started with the icosahedron because the first node there is the Giza. But I was a bit surprised myself why it was supposed to be this way. But I will soon share with you the beauty of how everything is interconnected. This is just like made the same way as the previous appendix, starting with Egypt, telling you a little bit about Egypt, so you can like dive into it before each week. So that will be like really easy, I guess. And of course, you also have this great Yosoy net. This you can use if you want to like go around and look around how it works. And yeah, here you see where I live here in Norway, and Barbara is around here, I guess. And you can like move around and see how everything is interconnected. What I would like to add is that the nodes and the ley lines are shifting all the time because of the wobbling of the earth, the changing of the poles, and yeah, it's a lot of things happening these days, which also makes it really important to go through it again and again, so we are attuned for the coming information. And you can ask, okay, why now? why are we doing? Okay, this is not going. Why? How do I get back? Am I sharing screen now?
We're looking at your desktop right now.
Okay, so that is not stop share. Okay, then I'm back. Sorry, I'm not. This is the first time I share screen, so I'm not.
You did great. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And then why now? It's like when I ask my guides why I'm not supposed to go into this in December, January, which I normally do. Why February? And when I looked through the calendar, you see that the dodecahedron ends around the huge in July. So it means that we have gone through all the dodecahedron before the Lionsgate portal, which is like the most biggest Lions portal maybe for years, because it has like these triple eights. The 8th of August 2024, which make like triple eight. And this from an astrology perspective, this huge amount of energy coming in from Sirius, from Orion, and when you in addition have this triple eight, which also like the sign of eternity, I feel it's like has this enormous relevance this year, because when we are dealing with nodes and the grid that is in unbalanced regarding time, what is more proper than having the eternity mark on the work? And secondly, when we work through all the icosahedrons, we are just in time to finalize that before the second huge 888 portal, which for me is the 8th of October 2024. Then you again, like if in the zodiac, October, Octo 8, you have like the 8th of October 2024, a new huge 8 portal, so close to each other. That has to be something. And I read through, or I saw through a beautiful posted a YouTube video on the WhatsApp channel here from the astrologer Julia Balaz. And she's this galactic astrologer, and she looked into what's up in October. And on the 2nd October, we have this solar eclipse, and we have this comet, Atlantis, that moves from Virgo to Libra, and actually conjuncts the super galactic center. That's like a wow. And Jupiter also retrogrades Gemini the 9th of October. And it's like this new big picture all over again. So I feel that if we make it until this 2 huge portals, that would be just, I think that if we can make this together, it's like the most beautiful thing, because I feel that is what the time is really asking us to step up, do things together, not longer me, but us. And we are like having this with like not using this structure above each other, but having this like this everyone is equal in this work. Everyone has the ability to do it on their own, from their home, connecting to your own center, not being if thing closes down in solar storms or whatever in the months to come. I feel it's so robust if we have projects where we have this significant times to connect to each other and to do the work, and we are not shut down by anything. We can just like do the alliance. And we also have this you probably all know about Betelgeuse in the Orion's shoulder that like now is going to, or it's probably already been on its way to turn into supernova. We don't know when regarding the Hubble telescope, it's might already happened. We are not quite sure. But when all this solar energy or star energy, because it's like not the sun, it's a star, hits us, it will be a huge blast of photons. And for this, we need to cooperate and create together. And
May I ask a question?
yes, please.
So what you're asking, I think I read this in your message. We're just going to, there's not a Zoom that we join or anything like that. We're just meeting. We're doing this on our own at the same time every day.
Exactly.
Or every Sunday okay. So 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. And what's the time zone?
That is the Central European time zone. So that means that if you are on the east coast of the States, that's about 1 o'clock. And
Okay.
and in the Pacific time zone, it's 10 o'clock. I believe. Yeah.
Okay, well, yes. So 7 p.m. Eastern or European time, and we can all figure our time zones from that. And a lot of this looks familiar because some of us went to Egypt, Argentina. We've seen some of these things and we have some information about the nodes, but just in case, so people don't have to dig through all their files, if you want to share your presentation in the chat, then we can just go on and maybe, I don't know, if you want to just remind everyone we're doing this node on this day and or how are you planning on doing it? How are you planning on doing it?
I'm planning of like sharing this information in different platforms, and then it's up to people to follow it up.
Okay.
So not being like the mother or the father figure. Now is the time. Now is like everyone has to be responsible and do their task. And if you feel called to it, I'm pretty sure that we can make it. And I don't think that we need like huge amount of people to do the work. We need different people from different perspectives to who each have their like particularly special template to do it. And what I also wanted to like, what also it gives me like so much goosebumps when I also read the latest work of Robert Edward Grant, what he saw in the Great Pyramid of Giza with this king's chamber with all these zodiacs aligned with the procession of the equinox, which was, and the carvings was like similar to the deacon of astrologer, as in Dendera, and even the blocks of stone, which has so much crystal in it. They are all in different sizes, both in length, depth, and height. So it's like a musical instrument for each of the signs. Like, just imagine being there when it was like functioning, how you could like into Orion and then into another part of the galaxy, or your body. All the different 12 things of thinking about the alignments. And
I have a question.
Yes.
I didn't get clearly. I didn't understand clearly what exactly do we have to do with the nodes work. The similar thing that we did when we were going to Egypt. We just have to like think about it physically, emotionally, and that, or something else.
Yes, good question. I will come back to that, and I will also post my suggestion of a meditation and an activation, how to like dive into the work. But I will come back to. Is it Sangeeta talking?
Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
Sangeeta. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I
Sorry.
appreciate it.
Yes. But what I also wanted you to have some remembrance about, because when the Atlanteans discovered the technology regarding the Atlantic cross, this is like a very special thing regarding, you have the northern Cygnus and the southern cross on both sides of the globe, and from these two constellations you can build a Merkaba and a cube, making it, you can have like all kinds of connections, to put it in short. If you want to dive more into it, you can look what Matthias posted the 2nd of February 2020, which actually was, he had a tiny repost of that information the 2nd of February this year, when he opened the Hopi portal. And then he talked about the southern condor and the northern eagle, which is like makes the same kind of cross. It's just another way of putting it. And when the nodes and the webs are in tune, these crosses, with these crosses, we can actually attune the web, and we can also communicate through space and time. But why is the web not working, and how can we fix it? Of course, as we touched upon, you have the northern pole shifting magnetically, not aligned any longer with the physical, but you also have these rifts in time. And I attended to the whole home tour with Matthias in December. I didn't attend personally, but only on net. And then he spoke about the rift in the net regarding space and time. You have the rift in space when, for example, if you split the atom. But when you split the particles that the atom is built up of, like the, I believe it's called the Higgs boson particles, you make rifts in time. And they managed to do that in CERN after the Second World War. And how to fix that? Like, when time has this rifted, according to Matthias, time is going too fast. The technology is developing much faster than we can accumulate, and you have the rifts going all the way down to 12,000 or whatever in time. And when I heard this information, I suddenly remembered a meditation and an activation I did in the heart of Africa some years ago, where the entity of the deep lake gave me this golden ring with the crystal of this blue volcanic stone. And I didn't see the why is it important. The answer came in December 2023 when it represents the ring of Ariane's crown, the star constellation, when these 12 tribes of the earth, the 12 constellations of the earth go together and manage to align with the oneness, the rift in time and space can be fixed. And then how do we fix it? That's the million. It's actually quite easy, because we all are individuals representing the micro and the micro, and we all have the 12 tribes, the 12 constellations, and the 12 systems in our body. And so we can take the advantage of being these mirror bodies, the mirror feelings, the mirrored spirit. And when we align this trinity of ourselves into oneness, we just think that you have, like I have, you go into a meditation. You can typical use as a picture of oneness, and you dive into the structure of oneness, letting yourself go, and then I have this sheet regarding how to call in the notes and so forth. And then when you are in the oneness, you can breathe in and out with the node and align with your particular template. Of course, you can do it whatever way you feel called to. It's not like one thing is right and one thing is not right, except I would really advise you not to have any specific not ask for a specific outcome of when you work with a node. Try to be as much neutral in the oneness as possible, because as Barbara explained last time we met, it's just like, when you have this 12,000 years ago, you had the the lion's period. And if we align to the negative side of that sphere, it will draw us into a bulb in the Aquarian age. It's just the same. And finally, when you work with a node, be aware that a lot of emotions can come through. Like you can have a lot of pain in your body, you can be really happy, joyful, and sadness, tears, everything that human nature possibly can hold can go through you. But do not be afraid. Just let everything pass through. Just be this anchor for the oneness, be this channel, and remember that don't think that, oh, I'm not worthy to work on the earth, I have all these issues. No, all your issues is in this aspect actually an activum, because then you can you can resonate with the same type of energies in the node, and actually when in oneness it can resolve. So that's the way to travel. And finally, you can ask, okay, but what's in it for me? Well, we are not doing this for ourselves. We are doing it for the earth, for Gaia, and for the future generations. But you will actually have a lot of benefits as well. Since you are the micro earth in this, you will, with your unique personality and template, you can go through all the 12 systems, all your zodiac in this work, and align every part of you with the all, like the all is in the all. And I find that is pretty amazing. So finally, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share. And if you do have any questions, please contact me. You can contact me private or in the chat or whatever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your sharing. That was beautiful. Definitely, we feel the astrology and the body system, everything is connected. The cosmos and the nodes represents an area of the cosmos as well. So we are connecting the cosmos with the point of the node, with our body, with our intention. So like you see, everything is connected, and we are doing this for the cosmos. We're doing this for Earth because we belong to a system. It's a cosmology. We are not even separate. So the cosmos, the body of the Earth, and our own body and our own system. So it's all related. So thank you, Benedict. It was beautiful, your sharing. And we start tomorrow. Tomorrow. Everybody's gonna do whatever they feel, or the way they connected, or the way you suggest. So thank you for your words and dedication. I love it.
Thank you, Benedicte. If you could just pass the baton over to me so I can share my screen, we can go into the next one.
You talking to me?
I
don't know, what did you say?
Shall I mute?
No, you are not. What
no,
did you
can
say?
you? I made Benedicte host. So if you could send it back to me.
Okay, how do I do that?
You go to my name. You go to my name, and in the right-hand corner where it says more, you would say make host.
You have to go in the participants part.
Yeah, it's this meeting being recorded. I don't have the information in the upper part regarding the.
If you can you see participants? Can you see the people and participants?
Now I have the participants up on my right corner. Okay. And then Scott.
Yes.
Make host, sorry, I'm a bit slow.
No worries.
Sorry.
This is the world we're living in. So yeah, just taking a few moments and breaths to honor what we just received about the process starting tomorrow, leading into the Lion's Gate. And it is a good segue of our relationship to the stars, to these constellations. There was a question, do we have 12 or 13? You know, this is not a debate. This is whatever you believe. Like, we're in Chiron and Aries, and I'll talk to you about it more. It's how you are guided, you know? This is all about finding our own truth in the I am.
The same with the flat earth. So there are so many options to believe now.
Yeah.
And get prepared, because this is going to be more and more
More
all the
of
time.
this. Yes.
More crazy things
Yes.
that you're going to have to choose, like tune with what resonates for you.
Yes.
Aquarius, get ready.
Okay, so with that said, I will share my screen.
I'm going to do first the astrology, and then you do the Chiron.
I thought.
No, yeah, I'm going to do after. I'm going to do first, and then you close with the Chiron, because
I'm sorry. I thought it was the other way.
No, because I want to explain the chart and how to find the.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Because we want to make sure that everyone has found where their Chiron is and where Aries is.
Yeah.
And
so we go to the ABCs. I need to share screen. Can you have to. And you muted me. I need to share.
I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Okay.
But okay. Okay. Everybody can see that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to start with the basic ABC, kindergarten or pre-K, pre-kindergarten of the astrology, so we can move forward to find it in your chart. And I'm going to go through the pizza, as I called it a long time ago, for when we did the 12 system, the pizza that is the cross universal for everybody, and the houses. And I'm going to start with this. And remember when I said long time ago, I'm not going to go through explaining the 12 houses, because we did it the last time we talked about Pluto, but I want you to be familiar. The symbols, the glyphs are here. Also, what I want to, let me see if I can use my crazy pen. That we find the energies of the first house in the sign, in the planet, and this is the characteristic of the first house. And the same with every house. Second house is going to have the characteristics of Venus and Taurus as a sign. So it's the same for each one. Each is going to have their own energy, their own story, and their own planet as a ruler. Pluto, here, the ruler of the 8th house and a Scorpio sign. So house, sign, and planet. And that's the basic, and we're gonna go. I wanna open with this fun and beautiful. This is not gonna be a song, but I found these beautiful things that I wanna share. And this is my opening prayer. And this talks about what we just saw on the chart, and it's going to talk about your life, your soul journey, and it's going to talk about the pizza and the houses and the planets and the signs. So astrology prayers, teach me how to be, first house, the I am, teach me how to be and how to be aware. House 1, house number 7. Teach me how to have, house 2, and how to share, house 8. Teach me how to understand, that's the Gemini, and it's the 3rd house, and as well as know, Sagittarius is the 9th house. If you see, is the axis is the opposite house, but they both talk the same. Teach me how to be and be aware. Teach me how to have and how to share. Teach me how to understand as well as know. Teach me how to root, that is the bottom of the chart on the pizza, and it's Cancer, and it's the 4th house, or it's the mother, and how to grow, and it's the 10th house, is the midheaven, is the gift that we have to give to the world. Teach me how to love, is the house of Leo, is the 5th house. And to be free, that's what we're talking about, Aquarius, and it's the 11th house. And teach me how to be of service with Virgo, the 6th house, and to come to tea, that is the 12th house. So as you see, what you saw on the graphic and what you have in the graphic of your chart is exactly this. It talks about you, it talks about the planets and it talks about the houses, but in reality, is us. Is talking about the soul journey. Is translated in the graphic, is like the mirror, but it's this. Teach me how to be, teach me how to have, teach me how to understand, teach me how to root, teach me how to love, teach me how to serve. So each house talks about a different theme of your life. And that's the connection that we tend to do with the astrology, with the chart, the reflection of this information that we can find in the graphic that we're gonna go deep. And when you have a planet, or when you have something going on in the chart, in this case, we're gonna go through Pluto, and we're gonna go through Chiron. This is what we are talking about. How to be, how to have, how to understand. It's like, it's happening to us, what we see in the chart. So I'm gonna share the PDF after you can have the prayer. I thought that it was really beautiful, and to connect with the chart. And here you have, teach me how to be, teach me how to share, I think it was, I don't remember. Teach me how to have. And if you see, and Matthias used to do, I am, I have, I think, I feel. So the cross of the pizza, or the basic of the pizza that we all share as universal, is the same for everybody, it's our path. And what happened in particular for each one, that is the planets, how the planets and how the houses are distributed, is what we're gonna see in the next step. So for you to find yourself in this map, that is the chart. Okay, we're gonna go after this to the chart, but I want you to see what we're gonna use. These are the glyphs that we're gonna try to find, or focus in finding, in the chart. Chiron, that is this K. Scott is gonna talk about Chiron and the North Node. This is exactly what is happening right now, and it's very important, and that's what Scott is gonna point and work with the energies of this in your map. Now, I am gonna do these planets. Why? Because these planets are in Aquarius. I'm doing with my left hand, sorry. These planets they were in conjunct with Pluto. So we're gonna find these glyphs in your chart, and we're gonna find all of these, where they are. So I don't know if you guys did or opened what Scott shared about doing the glyphs and the signs and all the practice, the homework that he gave us. But this is basically what we are going to try to find: the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Chiron, and Pluto. The other one we talked the last time, so even, of course, they are there, and I'm going to show where they are. You're going to see them, but that's the main thing that we're going to find this time and work with those planets, because that's what is happening that is important to all of us. We all going to have it in different houses, but sorry, why I cannot share. And here we only going to focus in Aquarius and in Aries. So beside the planets, Chiron, and the planets up here, these are the signs that I'm gonna focus right now. Everybody gets your paper, and we're gonna find these guys. Let me go to the chart. Okay. Everybody has their own papers at hand if you want to find it, or if you want to do it in your phone, or whatever it works for you. So first, what are we looking for? We're looking for Aquarius. That's the sign Pluto is. And it's big, and you can see it. It has this symbol. Try to find it in your chart. In my case, this inside that you see in your own chart, this is your natal chart. That's personal for you. As you see, my sun in Gemini, and my Chiron in Aries right here. And what you see outside, that is all this, is called the transits. So this is the picture of the sky today. So that's what we have, the two things together. I don't know if you guys can see me because I always do it on the phone. You can see me on the, okay. So you have the inside that is, it doesn't move, it's your chart, and you have the stars moving, the planets moving around, that they are the sky today. In a few hours, in a few years, that's what you see outside, is this one right here. So that's what you see in the graphic, your chart and the sky today, or the transits. That's how the astrologers call it. So let's go back to Aquarius. Everybody has Aquarius, and it's going to be in a specific house, right? In my case, is 5th house, 6th house, a little bit and a little bit. And also, that is going to give you information. Where is Aquarius, in which houses are working? Like I say, you have information in the sign, you have information in the house, and you have information in the planets. When you do astrology, what you do is like a blend, where you put where is Aquarius, where is Pluto, where is Uranus, and you mix it all, and you give a package of information, or you drink your own personal blend or smoothie or whatever you want to call it. But this is your unique blend with the sign, with the planet, and with the house. So everybody found the Aquarius? Now we're going to go to the transits. Any questions first before going? Because last time what happened is, like, after we finished, some people were asking, where is Aquarius? We couldn't find Aquarius. We couldn't find Pluto. And I say, okay, this time we're going to go just there, the basic, so you can see it in your chart. Any question? No, we keep going. Sorry for the people that already know astrology and are ahead, but I wanted to do this for everybody and be sure that you you see it. Okay, now you found your Aquarius. You found your houses where they are active. Now, to go even deeper, you go to your chart, that is this right here, and you see what is in Aquarius inside, you know, the wheel inside your chart. What do you have in your personal chart? Because if you have something, the energies are going to be even stronger. Because this is, I'm going to move to the Pluto thing and all the planets, but I wanted to say, if you have planets in the Aquarius space, in this pizza slide, the intensity of the transits is going to be even more, because it's going to affect, in my case, moon, my emotions, my beliefs. If you have other planet, or if you have the North Node, or if you have something else, it's going to give another flavor of the blend. I don't know if it's clear what I'm saying, but that's the main thing for what we read in astrology. Now, what is next? We found the sign, we found the houses, and now we have to go and find what is going on in transits. You see the area of Aquarius, what's going on? We talked some last time. We have, of course, we have Pluto here. Do you see it? Let's see. Just Pluto. That is the main thing, and the big thing that is Pluto entering in Aquarius is going to be there for 20 years. So Pluto is very slow. It's going to move very slow all the way here in 20 years. So you have 20 years to experience these energies. And what does that mean? I'm gonna experience, in my case, things related to the 5th house, creativity, also sexuality. If I have kids that I don't, you experience with your kids, your art, your creativity. And then the 6th house, when it's moving, you go to the next house, and it's gonna be health. It's gonna be jobs. It's gonna be the way I make money, or the way my habits. Whatever house it is, if you have it in your 2nd house, for example, here is gonna be something different. Your values, your job, you know, everything related with the 2nd house, everything related with the sign. In my case is Scorpio, but for everybody it's gonna be different. This is my blend. This is my chart. So that's what we're gonna pay attention. Then we're gonna see Venus, that is right now, I think it's today or yesterday, that is in conjunction with Pluto. And we're gonna talk about that, but I wanna first show the Mars, then you have Mercury, and then you have the Sun. The Sun, that it was almost is ready to go to Pisces, as you see here in the graphic, is almost leaving and crossing the line. It's 28 degrees, I don't know which degree, but it's gonna be in Pisces in a couple of days. But what is that, all this? These are all called personal planets. I wanna be sure before I go to the next slide, if you find, and if you saw this, if you can find it in your chart.
I'm still confused. I see it in my charts, but which one did you say are personal planets and which ones are, like, I'm still confused on that.
What do you mean? My personal, my own, or personal planets? What do you mean?
So I see, like, in the inside circle, I see the Mercury, the Pluto, and everything, right? But then I see them again in orange color in the outside, the outermost circle.
Yes, that's what I say. The inner is my personal chart, my natal chart. If you have yours, Did you print your?
Yes.
Okay. What you have inside that wheel is your natal chart. It's gonna be
Okay.
only for you. Every
Okay.
here and everybody in the planet has it is unique, personal to you. So that's
Okay.
wheel inside.
Okay.
What you
Okay.
see here outside, this is the same for everybody because we are all under the same planet and the sky is the same. You know,
Mm.
all have
Okay.
we all have Pluto in Aquarius. We all have the sun in the 28 degree of Aquarius. We all
Yes.
have a Chiron and the nose. So the wheel outside is the one that is universal for no, for everybody the same right now.
Okay.
The inside is personal, the
Hmm.
natal chart, and the outside is called transits. Transits
Okay.
because they are transiting, they are moving.
Right.
Like in a month, it's gonna be different. In a month, it's gonna be different. In a week, it's gonna
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Now it's clear.
good.
Yeah. So I have my Pluto in the sixth house, fifth house. So you said that will transit, right?
Yes, the Pluto, because you have two Plutos. The one outside, do you see it?
Yes.
And
One is in the
and then,
Aquarius. Yes.
yes, then you have the Pluto inside.
Yes.
This is the natal Pluto, and this is the transit Pluto.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
So
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're always gonna have information in many places. The
Mm.
energy is gonna be in many places. That's why the astrology is so intense and not
Yes.
difficult. It is, but it's intense. You have to put so much information and make the blend. And it's like, you know, what is the people that test wine? The sommelier.
Mm.
It's like
Mhm.
you have to have you have to be an expert to know what is, you know, this wine is testing. It's the same with the astrology. It's like with all this mix, you need to know, you know, what happened with the Pluto, in my case, or the first house, then what happened in the eighth house, and what happened with the transiting, and what happened is with the eighth. It's a lot of information that you have to. It's a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, please? Feel free to go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, so the transiting Pluto, the transiting Venus, Mars, Mercury, and the moon was here in the first week of the February. So it's like all the personal planets were in this area. I'm gonna go after, now I'm gonna show you the next one that is important that Scott is gonna be talking. So we found Aquarius with Pluto and everybody else. Now we're gonna find Aries that Scott is gonna be talking. So in my case, in my personal chart, Aries is in the seventh house. There it is. And this is the sign, the glyph of, you have to find it in your own chart. So when Scott is talking about what happened, that is this right here, Chiron North Node. Remember in the slide that I just passed, the one before, say, we are all as a collective, because this is the collective, we are going through very important transits, that this is one. Pluto, with all these people here, is one, and then another huge important is North Node Chiron. So that's gonna be Scott explanation and presentation in after I finish with this explanation on my side. But I want you to find it. In my case, it's in the seventh house. I'm going through something that is called my Chiron return, because I have Chiron in my chart and I have Chiron on top of the Chiron. So for me, this is a very important moment in my life. Everybody has a Chiron return around 50, 51. So this, in my case, and all the people that are around 50, we are going through this Chiron return. And having the Chiron return with the North Node is, and in Aries, that mostly all the people that this age we all have Chiron in Aries. So, Scott, we can wait to hear what you say. But I want everybody to find this in your chart, because when he explained, you're gonna know where it's acting. If it's in the 7th house, and if your Pluto is in your 5th house, that is gonna come after. So everybody found Chiron North Node? Right here. This is Aries, and we are trying to find this. See the house, and if you have planets here in that area, the same with me. If you have planets in Aquarius, in the inner wheel. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next. I guess everybody found it. Now I'm gonna go to this, and I put this slide and this picture so for you to have it after and remember, and it's information that you might need or might know, but I always share for you to keep it. What is happening with Pluto, that we're gonna talk about Pluto, but you know, everybody know Pluto, death and rebirth, transformation. What happened is Pluto, which it just met with all this bunch of guys that are called personal planets. So it's something very important, because on the chart, they are always here and there and here and there, not the rising. But for them to be all at the same time, the only ones going through and meeting with Pluto is a big thing, to have all the personal planets in the same area with Pluto. That's why it's so important this month. Also, at the same time with North Node Chiron, that is our wounded healer, and Scott is going to talk more, but it's very in sync and related with the personal planets. Chiron being our wound, and the North Node is our north direction, is our mission, is finding ourselves and our mission. With the Chiron, the information is pivot. You know, we are all going through something very unique and very deep and very intense and very transformative. You see Teresa going through something. We are all dealing and going through something very big. So that's what I decided to do all these meetings, because it's not a common year. It's a very, very, very intense and unique time that we are going through. Can you delete this? So this is for you to have, and you see Pluto with Uranus and Neptune is a generational, because they are very slow and they move, like Pluto is gonna be 20 years in Aquarius. Neptune, I think, is 14. So they move so slow that they make transformations happen. It's like, no, the personal planets, they go fast. Mars and Venus, they are closer to the sun, and they move very fast. So that's what they are personal. It's characteristics, but they change, you know, they keep changing, they keep moving, they keep evolving. This is a more intense, the generational planets are more intense. And Pluto, every 20 years, kind of gives a characteristic of the generations, you know, the generation X, the millennial, you know, every 20 years is a new generation, and is held by Pluto. And a little bit of this, I'm not gonna go too deep on this, but I want you to see the uniqueness. The way the orbit of Pluto and the orbit of Chiron, that are the two guys that we're gonna be talking right now, they are the ones that they have an inclination. That's why Pluto, it was took out of the planets. They say that it's a planetoid, and Chiron is an asteroid. That is, I think he's going to explain more about it, but the orbits are twisted. as they are. So they affect us in a different way, and they have already, from the astronomy, they are unique and different. Normally, the rest of the planets, they go in an orbit that is like that is more regular, and it has a plan. I don't remember, it has a name. I don't know if it's a, but it is flat, it's like that. And Pluto and Chiron, they go like this. So that to give the perspective of what we are dealing in an astronomical way, sorry. And also Pluto was found February 18, 1931, right in the middle of the mess, the war it was going, and it's gonna be tomorrow, the birthday as well. So that was fun to share. I'm gonna read this. Pluto, because it's what is Pluto doing in your house and where you found it. So now you can go to your chart and see where it is and see the how it's gonna affect Pluto in your chart. In the chart, the position of Pluto by sign will be shared with other people in the same generation. I just say that due to the comparatively slow movement of Pluto, the outermost planet of the solar system. Where we find Pluto in the chart is where we either seek change and transformation or have it thrust upon us if we refuse to accept our deepest needs. This in a personal way, and that in a collective, because Pluto in the collective or in the transit is going through Aquarius, so the transformation is going to be in the Aquarius era. And it say, or if you have a trust upon us, if you refuse to accept our deepest need, meaning the transformation is going to happen or it's going to happen. If you like it or not, if you refuse to accept it, it's happening. Even it's so slow that we cannot even see the transformation, but it's slow and deep and intense and very, remember also is the excretory system in Matthias 12 system. So it's related with all the things that we have to let go. Now, the house position of Pluto is key to understanding which area of life will enact the most dramatic transformation. So the same in your chart or in the house that is transiting right now. So we are all transforming and dealing with different things regarding the house that is in. So that's what I say. The house is important for you because it's personal. We all have Aquarius somewhere in a different placement that, of course, some people are going to have it like me in the 5th and 6th house. We often have to undergo difficulties, letting go process, and build faith in life itself for miracles to occur. Pluto in aspect to other planets in the chart colors those energies with obsessive qualities, power struggles, the need to find deeper meanings, and willingness to explore and examine. And this part is important because it's exactly what is happening right now. So Pluto in aspects to other planets. It will color those energies with obsessive qualities, power struggle, the need to go deeper in meaning. And what happened? Pluto just met with the sun, that it was your essence. Pluto met with yesterday with Venus and Mars, that is your values, is your energy, is your will. Pluto met with Mercury, is the way that you communicate, that you negotiate, that you take information, that you process information. So Pluto is meeting all the personal planets. That's why it's so intense. In 20 years, Pluto is going to meet with, again, in Aquarius with the same planets. But now is the first time that is happening. The process is going to go. The personal planets move fast. So probably next year or next few months, the Mercury is going to be around Pluto again. But this is happening in the beginning with the sun in the 0 degree, that is intense. And it's a new energy for all the personal planets, or meaning for all those energies, for your values, for your communication. They are meeting and they are transforming with the new energy. That's why it's so important, this process the personal planets are going through. Sorry about my notes. And I found this picture for you to find also in your chart all patterns you're ready to let go. This is for transits. No, it's also for the personal, but in my case, 5th house, need validation or approval and love. That's the energy that my Pluto is bringing me this time, I'm 50, to work with. If your Pluto is going through the 3rd house, is needing to, like the old pattern that you might be ready to let go, is needing to explain everything. So it's related to each house. The 1st house, who I am. If your Pluto is in the 1st house, or also Chiron, who I am, or Aries, who I am. I am is in call, clinging to resources. This Pluto is gonna put you face to face, if it's in the 2nd house, it's gonna put you face to face with all the things that you value, all the things that you have, materials or relationships, because it's Taurus and is ruled by Venus. The 3rd house is communication. The 4th house is the family, is your mother, is your home, is your country. So each house, it has a different meaning. The 5th house, that is the sun, is the way you shine, is validation, approval, or love, or self-love. The 6th house is needing perfection, because it's Virgo, controlling, is the health. So people having a Pluto or any planet going through the 6th house is going to be about this, needing perfection, health, control, the characteristics of Virgo. So you put that information together, like a blend, like say, when you do blend and you do a smoothie for you, unique, it's impossible to know everybody's chart, and that's what I give the example with mine. But that's what you have to look your Pluto. 5th house. Do I have something else in the 5th house that is gonna add information or add flavor to that blend? Because I need validation and approval and love. I have the moon in my 5th house, right there in Aquarius where Pluto is. So I'm mixing all this information, needing love, needing approval, needing validation from the moon, or related to my emotions, or related to my family, or related. So see the characteristics that you're gonna find in your own chart. You find the house and you see if you have more information that are the other planets. The 9th house is about the truth. It can be also related to legal stuff, I think, and always to search for new, best things. The 10th house is your professional life. Needing to be responsible for everything. If your Pluto is going through the 10th house of the midheaven, it is going to be related to your professional life or the gift that you have for the world. Being obsessed with something, because the 10th house is about being in the high positions, being up there in the world, being seen with success. So each house, if Pluto is in each of these houses, is going to talk about a different thing. Now, Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto enters Aquarius, regenerates your revolution. That's what this person say. Reframe. Starting a revolution in yourself through healing. Pluto is death and rebirth. Pluto is gonna make you face things that you're gonna let go, and that is healing. It's the 8th house. It's other people's money, and it's other people's value, and it's your own sexuality or things that you have hidden. You're gonna see doing the emotional deep dive into your wonderful difference, reforming and changing based on quality and humanity. Because Aquarius, it is about, you know, humanity, but being the quality. You're gonna bring the uniqueness of Leo, that is the opposite or the complementary, but it has to be seen as a welcome and as a equality, because otherwise it goes to the dismantle energy that is the shadow. You have to dismantle keeping up with the status quo, you know, wanting to keep adding to the fire. Hiding your secrets and deepest shame is going to bring all the shadows and all the things that we have. And also, if we are shy or if we are self-conscious, because Leo is shine, is being out there. So this Pluto is going to push us to be in the light. Dismantle your hidden secrets and deepest shames. So it's going to push us to be more Leos, more sun, more shining, more outwards, upholding systems that prevent humanitarian ideals, that things that they have to let go, upholding systems of personal and political oppression. That's what Pluto is going to do in a personal and in a more collective, these two energies. Again, the blend, Pluto, death, rebirth, letting go, going deep, healing, with Aquarius, that is community, that is the future, that is so many things that Aquarius is. Gonna keep going. Also because my throat. Now, what you find in your chart, again, going back to the graphic, you found the house, you found Pluto, and this is what the planets are gonna do in your houses. For everywhere they go, every house, the sun is gonna make that house talk and work about yourself. Like, of course, if the sun is in Aquarius, in the house number 5 or the house number, is gonna talk about your essence, about who you are. The moon, make the house an area which inspire emotions in you. Everything related, if you have the moon, like I have in the 5th house and Pluto is there, having the moon is gonna make that Pluto, for me, make my emotions more tender or more ready to explode or more ready to heal. See what I mean? Having the planets in a transit is gonna activate that influence in the houses. And I'm gonna leave it for you to guys read. I'm not gonna go through this each one, but Pluto makes that house the way you will reinvent your public persona. You're gonna be remade upside down, inside out, from the inside, all the shadows, all the stuff that is ready to explode is Pluto, ready to come out. And here are the energies. We're gonna go back to the same graphic I just put in this picture. The Pluto with the personal planets, that is about you. And you have here, what does that mean for each? For Pluto is rebirth. In a positive, you're gonna transform in a rebirth. In a negative, it's like you're gonna die, but you're not gonna be able to reinvent yourself. You can be strong in a positive way, you can be cruel, because this Pluto is gonna bring out the light and the dark, the shadow and the positive aspect. So here are both. Sexuality, it can be positive, can be traumatic, spirituality, or obsessive, new age stuff. Then you can have uncover mysteries, you can be jealous, you can be intuitive, because Pluto is water and is so deep and is so connected as water and has a lot of inner unconscious information that is gonna be also it's gonna be spiritual. It is about our spirit transforming in who we are, and that's what I put. And that's what I put this slide. I'm gonna make it a little bit more. Sorry. See, it's about who you are, your feminine side, your masculine side, what you feel connected in a today is Venus, is the beauty, is the sensitive, is love, is your partnerships, is your husband, is all the relationships that connect with the heart, is Mars, is the passion, the courage that you have. So the transformation of Pluto visit for all the personal planets is going to bring all these energies out to be transformed and to face. It's uncomfortable. This month it was very intense. It's not easy to face our shadows. This is what this Pluto meeting all the personal planets is bringing to all of us. The shadows and also the power. Also the side of like make us feel empowered, make us feel we can share, we can give in the position of the overflow. If you don't have that inner line or inner power, there is no way that we can overflow or give or share. And it's related with our values, like Venus is related of what if we have the strength and if we have the will, because we can have many intentions inside of us, but we need the action of Mars to make all this Pluto transformation to really happen. So it is about how we connect with other people verbally, that is Mercury. It's about our own values are gonna mostly today with Mars and Venus, like next to Pluto, is our values and how we act on those values. And if you find your house that is related to this picture, it's going to be related to if it's about yourself, if it's about your siblings, that it can be in the third house, all those values or those actions. It is about other people's money. So each part of the chart is going to talk about you. You have to take this information that I'm putting here, you sit with the chart and you make a blend of energies and you make a blend. What is Pluto? What is Mars? What is the actions? You see, aggression, violence. Is that coming out of me right now? And you go and reflect and you go within, the same with your values. It can be vanity because Venus is beauty. I'm being like, it's all about my image. It's all about, I'm gonna sail with my image like Mercury, like how I am presenting myself to bring people, use the communication to bring people. Is through harmony, creativity, or is through vanity. So this blend that is happening with Pluto, with all the personal planets, is gonna take us, it's taking, no, it's not the future, it's right now. It's taking us to face everything. And when Scott is going to talk about the Chiron, the Chiron with the North Node, is going to make more sense because it is the same that is happening with Pluto, but in a more intense. It's the two things together. The sun, what the sun represents is the ego, or is it being childish or extravagant. You have each slide that's the moon. It can be childhood, home loving, maternal. Are you being overprotected? Are you loving yourself? Are you in touch with your emotions? Then you have here more characteristics of each of the planets. And here for you guys to get more information and deeper with Pluto meeting Mercury, for example, is the I think. How you think, how you speak, how you listen, how you learn, how you write, how you communicate, how is your intellect and reason with the Pluto on top. That's what you connect with the with the two energies, with the Pluto of the transformations that we're going through. Is transforming and is bringing all the shadows on my communication. Is my communication this or that? I love Venus. are my values, and I'm passionate about this, why I'm passionate with it, what you desire, how you attract. You know, each of the planets, it has their own flavor mixed with Pluto. And that's what you have to connect the dots. And I'm not going to do it right here because I cannot even talk anymore. And we're going to be here forever. But this is, and you have Pluto here, you know, how you empower yourself, how you empower others, how you transform all the regeneration that you are going, how do you change? How do you do the changes of communication? You know, you have other planets that are supporting that, you have other positions or something in the chart, or even meditation, or even taking a class, how you are supporting this transformation. And I think that's it. Thank you for your time, everybody. Hope it was clear. Any questions about the chart? Any questions about the blend, the pizza, the positions, anything that you want to ask? All good? Okay.
I think
I think,
Yolande, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, has raised a hand.
okay, I didn't see that. Yolanda,
Yeah. Hi. I
hi.
just wanted to check when you were saying when you have a Chiron return, does it have to be at exactly the same degree, or is it just in the same house, your Chiron return? As
You know, for everybody, when it's in the same degree, of course it's stronger, and that's the key. But with every planet, and most if it's slow, like planet or planetoid, if it's Chiron or it's Pluto, we take 5 degrees front or back, or 3 degrees back and forth. So when it's on the same degree, it is activated, but it tends to be few degrees before and after. So
okay, so
you
if
can
my
feel it, you can start feeling it before. Actually, I'm going through, and I started feeling it last year. So it didn't happen exactly yet, but yeah.
okay, so if my natal Chiron is at 23 degrees, is it now my Chiron return?
Of what sign?
Aries.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
You're going
All
through
right.
it right now. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. Welcome.
I'm so feeling
Okay.
it.
You're in the right place.
Okay,
So
cool. Thanks.
thank you, Tulan. I'm gonna pass now. If there are no more questions, to Scott. And if you have any other questions, you just can reach out, and of course ask in the group or private. And thank you so much, everybody. I'm gonna let Scott take over, and I'm gonna have some water. Love you.
Yeah, everyone take some water. That's a great idea. Let's drink some water. And if you need to stand up, move around, feel your body, that would be great. Thank you all for being here and for your attention. I know this is a lot of information. Am I host now? No. Okay. So, Barbara?
Should I make you host, or
Yeah, why not?
what does that mean? I
So you
don't
go to
even know.
you go to my name up into the upper right-hand corner and participants and more and make host.
Yeah, but I thought that you already were.
No,
No.
I think we just have to pass the baton after we're done talking.
Okay, hold on. Sorry.
So while we're waiting, I mean, I guess I can go ahead and start. I mean, I know that astrology can be frustrating sometimes. We're looking at this chart and it's a two-dimensional chart and there's lots of symbols and it feels old and ancient and like, what am I looking at? And your mind is going everywhere. And so it's really hard to really interpret. And I just want to acknowledge that. My hope, this is my dream as we're moving from Pluto into Aquarius, one day we'll be able to have those like Apple Vision Pro or whatever it is, and we'll be able to look up into the sky and see the planets and go there into an augmented reality and see where our planets were when we were born. And I do this with clients. I'll take them outside and we'll go through their chart and we'll go to the energy of what was rising in the east when they were born, what is in the midheaven, what is below the earth that we can't see. And I think that helps to give this reality that we're Earth. Here we are, and we're part of it. And there's this immense sky with all of these objects swirling around us. And the ancients have given us these clues on how to look at it, right? And it's all just saying, look up, you know? And should I go ahead and share? Let me go ahead and share. Well, I just wanted to, yeah, for those of you who don't know me, I will share a little bit. The reason why, like, I started reading when I was really young, and I loved symbols and geometry and shapes and words. And so that's where it started. But my first connection with outside of my home, this is going to sound strange, but for those who grew up in the 70s in the United States, there was the TV guide. And you would look on the TV guide and see like what's coming on TV tonight. And I would like make this connection of what I'm seeing here is going to be on that screen. And it just connected me to like, whoa, like what is out there in this screen, this projection? And I was amazed at the technology. And so I'm a tech geek too, and I love technology, and I love symbols. And so astrology comes very naturally to me. And then on top of that, when I went to university in Virginia, I studied history. And it was and so I love history, and I love looking back to see where we are and to make comparisons on where we are now. And are we really evolving? Like, what's happening? Are we just repeating the same mistakes over and over? So, I got my astrology chart when I was in college, and started looking into it more. My mom always read us our sun signs and out of the paper, and I did all of that, and I was like, what does this mean? And fascinated by it. And when I got my chart done, that's when I really went deeper. And so, well, there's much more than the sun. I mean, I'm a Leo, so the sun was great for me. I loved talking about my sun sign. But when I discovered there's so much more, it really started to put things into perspective. And the biggest gift for me is that astrology reminds us that time is not linear. It's not a straight line. There wasn't I mean, yes, maybe there was a Big Bang. I don't know. I wasn't there. Maybe I was there. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like time is not linear. It's cyclical. And the beauty of looking at astronomy and science of astronomy, which came from astrology, is that we discover these cycles, these orbits of these humongous things in the sky. And then what astrologers do is look back in history and see, well, the last time it was at this is what was happening. So that's what gives us a clue now on what could happen. But we have free will. This is a free will planet. So we can decide. It's like each planet is a color and we're creating a painting. I think of astrology as an art, and we're pulling all these different colors and energies, and we're creating a painting. So when you're looking at this weird looking two-dimensional graphic of all these things, you're actually looking at a painting of yourself. And the reflections that you see can help you go deeper into yourself and what that means. And then when you tack on the cycles of time, you can see what cycle am I in, And so I guess this is where I'll share my screen. Hold on one second. Let me get this prepared here. Can everyone see that? I can't see. Can you see this screen?
Yes, we see the universe.
The universe. Okay. So yeah, so just a reminder, we're on this spinning planet and we're spinning and we're around the sun, going around the sun, and we use the zodiac, these 12 or 13 signs, however many signs. You can use other constellations, but I'm just going to talk about the 12 that I know. And those are like dials on the clock. It's the way to tell time. Like that's what the zodiac is. And so this is what the ancients were streaming. They didn't have Netflix. They looked up at the sky and they said, "Oh, I see this constellation of Aries, this ram. It is springtime, so I will now plant seeds," or this is when the seeds start to grow. And so it was from telling time using stars and the movement of stars that we discovered what was happening on Earth. And um and so it's yeah. So Earth itself goes through cycles and there are seasons. The zodiac that I'm talking about is the tropical zodiac, and where there are 4 seasons. Some of you may live further north or south and don't have the same thing, but it's the idea of we all have a spring, a summer, a fall, and a winter. And so there are growth cycles. There actually are germination cycles where things begin to grow, then they bloom, then they shine, and then they start to fall and wither and become fertilizer for the next cycle. And this is what Earth goes through every year, like clockwork. And you can live in the light if you want to. You can go to the North Pole or the South Pole, and you can live in the light and have daytime for most of the year. But I love to say that it's only in the darkness that we can see the stars, right? So this is what teaches us, is that, like, in order to grow, we need the polarity, we need the lightness and the darkness. And that's what I appreciated and resonated with Matthias's teachings as well. Like, don't be afraid of the dark. You can look to the stars to find the light in the darkness. They can be a guide. But we have free will. We can choose which way we're going to go. So what I'm going to share is my perspective. You don't have to agree with anything that I say. We're in Chiron and Aries. This is all about your truth. And I'm just going to share what I know. If it resonates, great. If it doesn't, you don't need it. Okay. So I'm just going to go through the glyphs of, again, like go a little deeper with what Barbara introduced of Chiron and Aries and the North Node and what they mean. And we talked about this a little bit in our first meeting a couple of weeks ago, or our last meeting a couple of weeks ago. And then just what cycle Chiron is in right now, right? Talking about the spring, summer, fall, winter, et cetera. Like, what cycle are we in with Chiron? And then it's in Aries. So what does that tell us? And then I'll end with some healing statements for each of you now that you've found where your Chiron is and what sign it's in. I'm going to offer this to you and you can accept it, use it if you want, but just this is a very important time for healing. We're at a turning point in our healing journey as a individual, as a self, and as communities and nations and Earth and galactic, like on and on and on and on. And so it's coming to me now to say that, that two-dimensional piece of your chart, you can think of it as the spiral that's been moving up. And, that's the natal chart, the moment you're born, and everything it's just a transit in action. It keeps moving, it keeps moving. And as you're going through these cycles, they're making a relationship to your original planet. And so we can look at the transit charts up here to relate to what's going down here. And it makes the sacred geometry, these beautiful, trines and oppositions and sextiles and all these different things, which can be interpreted and have a perspective, and you can again create your painting. So I just wanted to add that. So we're in this spiral, and right now, Chiron, I'll talk about Chiron, and personally too, you know, when I got my chart in 1993, and then in 1995, I'm sorry, 1997, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, and runs in my family. A couple of people in my family have it, a few people have it. And so I immediately went to my chart and found Chiron. And Chiron has been a guiding light for me. So I'm calling on the energy of Chiron, because Chiron is the healer, is the wounded healer. I'll talk a little about the mythology of Chiron and why it represents the healing journey. So again, I just want to say that, you know, I'm going to share my journey, but I trust that you are finding what is right for you. You know what you need. And I honor each one of your divinity, your wisdom, your body's wisdom and intelligence. So if I say things, because we're talking about healing, so it can bring up some things, it can bring up remembrances. And so when it does, just notice. And you can have that observer perspective of notice, where do I feel that in my body in this moment? And so we're bringing our conscious awareness to the healing. And so you look at the glyph, and this is the key, like we're discovering what is the key to our healing. We can imagine, where is this key in our body? What can we unlock? What information, there's so much information out there. What can we unlock, the information inside of our body that can aid us in our healing and our growth? So Chiron was discovered in 1977, and like Barbara mentioned, it has a different orbit. They couldn't really classify it. There's still, if you look it up, there's different, some say it's a dwarf planet. I don't necessarily like that word. Others call it a solar system body. Some say it's part asteroid, part comet. So it's this mix of things. And you know, there's the asteroid belt that goes between Mars and Jupiter, and that's the asteroid belt we knew. But this was the first asteroid-like object that was between Saturn and Uranus. And it was like outside of our known, where we thought asteroids could be. So it sort of reached us out into this a more expansive tradition of Saturn. Saturn is where a lot of astrologers ended. Some astrologers just go to Saturn. They don't go to the outer planets, which are Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and so on, and the outer asteroids. So it's a bridge. And it was aptly named. It was discovered in November of 77, but it was named in December when the sun is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the centaur. So they call it the centaur planet. And, or, you know, actually they just call it centaurs. Now, since then, they've discovered like 25,000 asteroids, and everyone's coming up with all of these ideas on what they are. I think someone shared, which oh, my light is falling. Someone shared Atlantis. I mean, it's fascinating. I watched that. If you haven't watched that, the galactic astrology, it's amazing. And people are going further and further and further out, and it just shows where our consciousness is reaching, you know? But Chiron was kind of like the first. This is the first planet or asteroid, and I don't even know what to call it, centaur, that where we started to think of these expansive ideas. So the story of what's important is the healing archetype, the journey. So Chiron was twice wounded. His father, Kronos, in Greek mythology, which we know as Saturn in Roman. So his father was Saturn, and Saturn was the king of the Titans. He was going around spreading his seed everywhere, like just having kids and just going out there and fertilizing everything. And he was, you know, going behind his wife Rhea, and he mated with this ocean nymph Philyra, and he turned himself into a horse when he did it, so his wife wouldn't find out. So anyway, so Chiron was born half god, half horse, this bridge between worlds, the animal spirit, the godlike spirit. And he was rejected by his mother. His mother was appalled and abandoned him. So that was the first kind of mortal wound, spiritual wound, emotional wound of Chiron, left alone. And he was brought in by Apollo and Apollo's sister Artemis, and they fostered him and they taught him how to, go into the woods, how to hunt, how to find medicine and herbs to live on Earth. And how do you treat yourself? Medicine, Apollo taught him medicine. And then what Chiron did, he had initiative, and he took what he learned from both of them and he created his own style of teaching that the other centaurs are like, whoa, this guy knows. He was known as an intelligent, the wisest, the just. He was, because all the other centaurs in this mythology, if you want to go there, they were more of the rough, aggressive, Dionysian, like drinking, partying, like they were more of that, like more beast, I guess, And Chiron was more intellectual, more sensitive, and he wanted to synthesize his environment, and he analyzed what these things were. He was curious about all the different herbs and the medicine. So he created this teaching, and he became a mentor from the centaur to mentor for other people, for the youth. And that's what he was known for. And as it turns out in this myth, when Hercules was on his journeys, and Hercules accidentally shot Chiron in the knee with a poison arrow that was from Medusa, or whatever we call her in Greek. And it was a poison arrow. So Chiron, who's immortal because he has god blood in him, he had this excruciating pain that would never go away. It just wouldn't go away. And because he was immortal, he would have to live with that for the rest of eternity. So the story ends where he offered his immortality. He talked to Kronos, Saturn, and he offered his immortality to Prometheus, who was bound to the rock, and freed Prometheus from the rock and he gave someone else his immortality so he can die and be without pain. So that was his journey. And so what this represents is that there are these different stages we go through in our healing where we feel like a victim, where then we become a wounded healer. We're wounded, and we have mentors that guide us, that point us in different directions. And through this journey, we're transformed. And one thing that Chiron is known for is that he uses his pain to create wisdom, to find wisdom. And it's not just for himself, it's for other people. So yeah, so he this archetype embodies integrating pain with wisdom, sharing holistic intelligence, having compassion for yourself and for others, and this commitment to peace and authenticity. Because the other thing too is that when you go beyond Saturn and you're on the way to Uranus, which is like complete authenticity, complete individuality. I mean, you imagine it's further away from Earth. So you are really yourself. You are this individual. You're sort of like, it's your authentic self. You're going into the outer planets, and you're getting closer to your higher self, one could say. And it's so that's this Uranus is this rebellious planet, and this is and Uranus rules Aquarius, and so we're all coming into our higher selves. We're all going towards this Uranian energy. There's Uranian astrology out there too, which is also fascinating. So this is the healing journey. Is everyone with me right now? I'm just like talking along. Okay. So Chiron in Aries. Chiron has been in Aries since April of 2018. And like Barbara said, the orbit is it's not the same for each sign. So you have to look at it, you know. In Aries, it's generally around 9 years. And the solar system moves in this way of where like it'll ingress into a sign. So for a few months, and then it'll retrograde back to the old one. Make sure we're done with that and we've resolved those things. And then it'll go forward again direct. And so now it's been direct since February of 2019 until June of, and it'll be direct until well, it'll be in Aries until 2026. It goes retrograde during those times as well. The last time it was in Aries was 1968 to 1977. Perhaps a lot of you here, I think someone shared that they're going through their Chiron return. I'm going through my Chiron. I'm actually completing my Chiron return, and I believe this is part of my journey. Being here and sharing this with you is part of my Chiron return. But so we look at 2018, right? And this is what we do with astrology, and it's like, what's happening and how can we compare this to the last time Chiron was in Aries? And when you think about it, you know, think of all the, oops, sorry. Oh, I see. This is what, okay. Yeah. Before I get into what Chiron, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Now I'm getting, okay. So now I want to talk about Aries before we get into the relationship between Chiron and Aries. So just so we understand what Aries means and where we've been. So the glyph is the spring. It's the horns of the ram. It's the upward motion of the head. It's we're pulling our heads up and we're seeing a new vision now. It's spring. It's when the flowers come out of the ground. It's spring up. And this is where we have initiative, courage, a forward-moving spirit. We're being assertive, dynamic, and pioneering. And it is the Yosoy. Is there any coincidence that we've been doing the Yosoy during Chiron and Aries? I do not think so. There are no coincidences. Aries represents I am. It rules the head and it rules the ego. It's when we take that breath in when we take the breath in, the breath of spirit, that breath goes in up to the nose and it enlightens our brain and it activates our pituitary, our pineal gland, our crown chakra. We have awareness there, and our head expands and we get these ideas. Who am I? Who am I? And that changes with every breath, you know, or not. So Aries rules the spring. It also rules the baby. It's like when a baby is born, the head comes out and it's here. And so so it rules that time of life when we're infants, we're in this infant stage. The shadow of that, you know, when we're coming out there, we're knocking down walls, we can become the shadow of that, the darkness of that is that we can become impulsive, impatient, aggressive, too self-centered. We can become insensitive to other people. And it becomes very difficult to listen to advice from other people. So I don't know if anyone can relate to that. But you see this happening on the world stage. I mean, during this time, and I'm going to use references from the United States. This is what I know, and I encourage people who are living in different countries to find some examples there, but I'm sure we're all connected. So I'm sure you're aware of these things that have been happening, but the Me Too movement, where women started standing up and I can't do this anymore. You know, I have to tell my truth. We had Black Lives Matter, you know, people going to the streets and asserting who they are, and they're not going to take it anymore, right? And it's and even the people who've gone on this Yosoy journey, the I am journey, and discovering themselves, like, who am I? Like we've all been called to really face our wounds head on. And what I'm suggesting is that, 2018, we had the coronavirus, also in the head, wearing masks, covering the face. There was a lot of, do I wear a mask? How can I, don't tell me I have to cover my face. I have to cover my head. We had people resigning from work. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to do my own thing. There's a lot of identity politics, right? And identities, trans people coming out and like, this is who I am in my body. You can't tell me what I am in my body. I have a right to my body, So we're seeing all of these things playing out. These wounds are coming out and asking for respect. Going back to where it was before in the late 60s or in the 70s, 1977, we had the women's movement, and we had Black Power was alive then, we had gay liberation. All of these things happen when Chiron is in Aries. These people who are wounded come out and they ask to be seen. It's where they've felt like they were orphaned, rejected, that Chiron, I've been rejected, I've been bullied, and I am going to find my own way. And you don't tell me what I can do, right? So there's a lot of that Aries, that initiative, that assertiveness, right? So we ask ourselves during this time, am I assertive? How am I a pioneer in my own life? Where do I want to start? Where do I feel trapped? How can I share more about who I am authentically? Am I showing initiative, courage? Am I moving forward in my life? Just think of the head and moving in the Aries and the Ram, right? And then you can also ask the shadow side, where have I been impulsive? Where have I been impatient? Where have I been aggressive? And this again is coming from the observer point of view, right? It's not about, we're out of Pisces. It's not about blaming ourselves or staying in the victim stage. And I think this is what I want to say too. I think we're in 2024. So we're entering into this new phase of the Chironic journey in Aries. And, people are coming out now with new healing modalities. They're everywhere. Everyone's coming out with them. They have these ideas. They're in touch. They're awake. They've woken up. The woke movement. There you go. And they, they have ideas. They're connected with their divinity. Their higher selves are coming through and landing on this earth. And we're going to see it all over, everyone. And it's great. We're all waking up, So the higher octaves, we talked about the shadow. Yeah, so I think I finished that thought, where we observe this, like, where have I been this? And it's not about blaming or like, oh, I'm so like, oh, I got to make it up. No, no, it's just observing in neutrality of like, yeah, I've done that. And you just do better. You just keep going and you just keep going and you ask for guidance. You try as much to stay in your central core from this observer point of view. And you learn how to trust and of course ask for forgiveness where you need to. And the higher octaves of Aries is we learn how to trust ourselves, our higher selves, and what we're getting. And it's not, yeah, we just trust ourselves. Chiron Aries may prompt a journey of self-discovery, challenging individuals to confront personal obstacles head on and assert their identity confidently. Great. Okay, so here we are, February 17th, 2024. Why are we here today? Why am I so excited to tell you about this? Because on Monday, 2 days from now, the Chiron in Aries is going to be conjunct North Node in Aries, which is another signal, and I'm not the only astrologer talking about this. It's everywhere, and you probably have already heard this. But the North Node Well, let me tell you what that is. It's going to be exact on February 19th at 17 Aries. So you can find where 17 Aries is in your chart. This is really affecting people between, I believe that when Chiron when enters Aries at 0 degrees, I believe you start feeling the energies. There's different thoughts out there. If it's, 5 degrees closer to that, or 3 degrees, whatever it is, you're feeling the energies. The energies have arrived. A turning point has happened. I know I'm thinking back to when 2018, I left my job, my career of 20 years, and I moved to LA. I was in New York. I moved to LA. And then I found the Yosoy group. And I'm like, how perfect is this? Yosoy, I'm aware that my Chiron is in Aries and I'm about to go through my Chiron return. I'm like, yes, I'm going to Egypt. I'm going to Egypt and I'm going to study the I am, and I'm going to go on the Nile trip with Matthias. And it was through that journey that I really discovered myself, my higher self. And I had remembrances of being in ancient Egypt, or maybe I was just tuning to those energies. I felt the energies when I was there, and I was like, I know this. I've been studying astrology. I'm going to start sharing it. I was a body worker. I had my massage license, and it came to me on that journey with Matthias and the groups that I can combine them, and I can bring astrology into the body, right? And I'm speaking from my astrology can be very mental, and we're what does this mean? What does that mean? Da, 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 da. And we get out of our minds and out of our bodies. And so Aries is entering into the body, coming back down into the body. It's Pisces was about, wanting to escape the body and leave, and addictions, and, just escaping this reality and trying to rise up and transcend. And this is about ending the trance by coming into your own body and knowing who you are. I know who I am. And my wish is that everyone can wake up and know who they are. Anyway, I was going off there. But so let me tell you about the North Node. So the North Node, here we are on Earth, and we are imagining that elliptic again, the path of the zodiac, this ring around the Earth. The North Node is where the moon rises and crosses the ecliptic. And that's significant because that's where the nodal axis is significant because that's where our eclipses are. It's where the sun will meet the moon, and we'll have solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, and they meet on the axis like Barbara was discussing, so, and it happens, it moves its position through the zodiac, and not to confuse matters too much, but this always goes retrograde. So it's going to be moving backwards in your chart. During the, what do you call it? During the, before Aries and Libra, it was in Taurus and Scorpio, where economy was suffering, inflation was going on. It was like Taurus and Scorpio, like the inflation of our resources and what do I need? What do I need to get rid of? Like that was the last journey. And now it's moving into Aries and Libra, where we are getting rid of these old things that are holding us back, these obstacles that are holding us back. And it's a symbol of growth. It's a time of growth. And we discover more of who we are, what our purpose is, what each of our purpose is, where we can evolve and where we can develop. And as it turns out, Chiron will be conjunct the solar eclipse that's happening on April 8th at 19 Aries, right? So on Monday, Chiron and North Node are conjuncting February 19th at 17 Aries. So we're going to have this period of spring where I'm hoping this can inspire all of us. We're feeling these Chiron Aries energies, and how can I be a pioneer and all of these things, right? Or how can I just be myself, really? I mean, it doesn't have to be fireworks. The Aries is fire, but whatever works for you. So this is a powerful alignment. And by the time we reach the solar eclipse, it will be exact. Chiron will be right on that solar eclipse. And it's really helping to dissolve our old egos. Like that's that's what an eclipse signifies, is dissolving the ego or balancing, not even, you're not getting rid of anything. We can never really get rid of it. It's about finding that balance of your emotions, your heart, your compassion, your emotional body with your ego. And
And Scott, can I add something about the Pluto and the personal planets?
absolutely.
Imagine that is going to happen in April, coming from what we are having in February, Pluto, the transformation, meeting all the personal planets. You add this Chiron with the North Node and with the eclipse, with the Pluto energy of transformation, regeneration, death, and rebirth. So it's like a double inner work. So can you put together a little bit of the Chiron in Aries with the Pluto energy as well, so they can see I don't know if you're going to do it ahead, but I just wanted to.
With the way that I see this, the relationship that I see it is that we're having all these personal planets in Aquarius, and it's really asking us to come out of our selfishness, right? We've been in this period of we've been self-centered, thinking of ourselves, and now it's Aquarius. It's like, how can we really be a community, a brotherhood, a sisterhood? How can we connect with our networks without ego, you know? And this is hard because our egos are going through a rebirth. And so it's transforming how we love, how we show up in our relationships, how we show up in our work, in our lives, in our bodies. How do I show up in my body? You know? And Pluto is, yeah, we're going through this deep transformation. And that's what Pluto is. And so, yeah, you would look in your chart to see what houses it's in. And I would also look at the house before. Do you see where Pluto was, and kind of feel that energy, because you're growing on that, you know, and then you see where it is now, and then you look to see where it's going in the future. And this is not about being fatalistic and my life is falling apart and I'm going to be scared and I can't deal with it. You know, it's not that. It's like, how can I use this energy to transform myself and the world? And knowing that you are supported. You are supported, you have you are divinity. You have divine guidance. You can trust yourself. You can trust your own North Node, you know, and you can go deeper into this looking at your chart. Because there might be aspects of where your natal North Node is to this. I mean, there's all different kinds of ways if you really want to get into it. And again, it's just a matter of awakening the energies so you can bring them into your life and use them to create something new and beautiful in the world. And does that answer your question, Barbara? Do you think that was good or?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you.
So I wrote too, like, can you see that? Oh, it hasn't been playing this whole time. There it is. It's moving. We're moving. I also interpret Aries as, you know, in the 12 systems, it's the reproductive system. And I like to think of it as the masculine aspect of the reproductive system. It's that energy that moves us forward. It's the ejaculate, you know, like, to be graphic. It's the thing that moves forward, right? And to create. This is impetus to create. And that's what we're healing. That's what Chiron has been healing. Again, the Me Too movement. Where have we been? Where has the masculine, and we all have it, you know, everyone has it. Where has our masculine energy been impulsive, been impatient, been aggressive, been self-centered, insensitive to others? Where has it been insensitive to the feminine, to the divine feminine? You know, and I think there was a balancing going on when Chiron entered Aries, with the you know, not to repeat myself, but yeah, with all of these things that we see, people who are legitimately victimized, and to say that there are people who are being victimized today, and that is a real thing in the 3 dimensions, and I honor that. There are people who their rights are being taken away, their land is being taken away, and that is a real thing that is happening, you know, and my prayer for them, my heart goes out to them that they can use this as a journey, right? To find their healing and then to come back and teach us how they healed, right? I don't know if it's karma or I don't know. But I do know that there are people going through very difficult times. And so this is where we start to think about the rest of humanity, you know, not just ourselves. And also recognizing that by healing ourselves, we can show up in our world more in coherence and alignment, and we can be there for people, you know, when they need help. And that's that masculine energy. Now, so yeah, so the authentic masculine qualities would be being strong, being a leader, being independent, not codependent, independent, while also fostering compassion, vulnerability, and emotional intelligence. And that's that north node, that eclipse energy of where can I be more compassionate and vulnerable, and or when am I vulnerable, and what do I do around my own vulnerability? And by looking into those dark spaces, that's what's going to help us grow, right? By analyzing what's in the soil. And, you know, I mentioned that I want to touch on this. It's also the lunar new year of the dragon, the wood dragon. And February 10th, that was on February 10th. So this is all under the new moon that was in Aquarius, right? Yeah. The new but in the Eastern Asian cultures, this is the wood dragon. And the dragon reminds me of Chiron and Aries. The dragon in the Chinese zodiac is the only mythical creature. There's like the rat and the rabbit, and you know, all the different, they're animals, but the dragon is the only mythical, this in between worlds. And when we think about the dragon, vulnerability comes up, right? It's like when you look at the mythology of the dragon, it's like, I feel vulnerable. How can a human deal with being a dragon? It brings up vulnerability, you know, and I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. But then if you look from the dragon's perspective, it is that chironic figure of being on its own, you know, feeling rejected, feeling orphaned. And it has its own medicine. And the medicine is the vulnerability. It's the same chironic medicine of being vulnerable, learning how to share your wisdom from your pain. And yeah, so the wood element is what brings in that nurturing of this dragon. So those who are born, I think someone asked me a question either in the chat or privately, I can't remember, but I believe someone was born in a wood dragon year, which great, you can help us. Because it has this year has this balance of strength, flexibility, ambition, and compassion. We're looking to fearless, innovative leaders who can navigate challenges with resilience and wisdom. Again, it's that chironic energy, and balancing, bringing the masculine into balance so the feminine can be honored and respected. And the feminine is also balancing with the masculine, you know, and respecting. And I see too, like the head is kind of this masculine thing. Our head is out there, and our bodies are more feminine. We're these humans who have the front of us exposed. We're exposed, and this is very vulnerable. All of our organs are here. Our hearts are here. We can be wounded here. We can die here. So this is a very vulnerable area that we present to the world. And so it's, how can I bring this masculine energy down and be received by the feminine? You know, think about, and we're living in a very masculine culture. Everyone's like, go, go, go. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to da, 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 da. And I need all of this information, and I need to do this and this. And then we're putting all of that into our bodies. And so this like driving force, fire energy, the breath of fire is going down into our systems and burning it. And we can stop that. We don't have to do that anymore. You know, we can. And some of you probably are already there. As I'm saying this, I'm talking to myself, really. You know what I mean? Like, we can receive, we can come into balance. The Aries is the head, and the next fire is Leo, the solar plexus, where after it's moved through these elements and the Chiron Cancer, the heart, where we've received this energy and we come into balance. And then from Leo, we decide, how am I going to give and receive from this, in this matrix, as a fractal in this matrix? And it's here where we start to digest the outside world. We're going to get into that. We're going to do a little activation in our bodies. That's why I wanted to do this, so we could all do an activation. But before I do that, does anyone have any questions about what I've shared? That's the bulk of the information that I'm going to share. And then next we'll go into an activation.
I want to just add one thing. There's a few things, but probably the key one that's coming up. I know you mentioned forgiveness, and the compassion piece. And I know, because I'm coming out of my Chiron return, so I know how, what those of you that are just starting or in the midst of it, forgiveness of yourself for not knowing different, not having the tools, not having the support systems. That is more beneficial to your body and your healing and your soul, to forgive you for not knowing those things, than to always put it outside of ourselves. We're so used to outside of ourselves with everything, and that power, and like Scott's saying, the head, but and I know with my clients that I work with, and I know with my own, it's us touching our own body, our own heart, to really bring that into us. And so wherever you are, just even every night, I tell my clients all the time, and I still do it to myself, but I love you, and add your name. So you're hearing yourself when you go through that. I'm sorry I didn't know. I'm sorry I didn't have the tools. There's much more, but I think that's probably the big piece for anyone that might be moving through a lot right now. So thanks,
Thank
Scott.
you. Thank you, Donna. That's perfect. And what I'm gonna do, what I felt guided to offer, is, now that you've found where Chiron is in your chart, maybe you have Chiron in Aries, maybe you have Chiron in Pisces or Taurus or Gemini, wherever you found it in your chart, I've offered those kind of affirmations, which all comes down to love, right? It's, how do I love myself? These are a little more directed to what that sign, what that aspect of love is, you know, the higher octaves of Aries, the higher octaves of Taurus and Gemini, Cancer, Leo, etc. So this is the higher octaves. And so this is something that you can, I'll share a file. We're going to go through it. Oops, can I do this? We're going to go through it together, but yeah, so this is something that you can, if you're drawn to it, you can use it over the next few months until the solar eclipse, and we'll see how it goes. So if you want to join me, I would like to do an embodiment exercise. If you want to stand up, you can stand up, but this is just awakening our body before we go into this. I can't see myself. I don't know if you can see me, but you can hear me probably. So if you want to stand up or seated, whatever's comfortable for you. And this time when we're taking our breaths, I want you to imagine the dragon's breath. It's the Ha breath, the breath of fire. Feeling your feet on the ground, your arms comfortably by its side. Or if you want to fly, you can fly. And just do some Ha breaths. Breathe in. And this is also, the dragon's breath is also Plutonic breath. It's Pluto breath, the breath of transformation, the fire that transforms. So as we're doing the Ha breath, we're inviting our body to transform, to heal. You can shake. You can notice where there's tension in your body. If there's any tension, sending your breath to that area. You can reach up, pick some grapes, stretch, and just opening up all the pieces of your body. And if you're not able to move these pieces of your body, use your breath, send your breath and your awareness, just your conscious awareness, and just think about your body. I have a head, I have a neck, I have shoulders and a chest, stomach, and all these organs. And really just caress yourself, my arms, my thighs, and my knees. You just feel the awakening of the breath. And then you can just bend over and touch the earth if you want. Connecting to the ground. Yeah, and looking up. And imagining the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Chiron, Uranus, Neptune, and all the rest of the family we have not met yet. And feeling that direct conscious awareness that we are connected. There is no separation. We have tremendous amounts of energy to come into our bodies, to awaken within our bodies. And just being aware of our backspace, what's behind us, all the previous versions of ourselves that have walked and arrived at this point, our backspace that supports us. I am supported. Taking a few moments just to do whatever your body wants to do, needs to do. I am sitting down and returning, and as we go through these, we're going to go through the different parts of our bodies. And just imagine. So Chiron and Aries, taking a deep breath. We've opened our head, our crown, and we've talked about the reproductive system. I embark on a journey of self-discovery, fearlessly confronting obstacles, recognizing what I believe about myself, and confidently asserting my true identity. Chiron and Taurus, moving down from the head through our central canal into our neck, opening the third eye, our muscular system, where all of our memories are stored. I embrace grounded healing, finding new perspectives within myself, reaffirming my values, and finding stability and inner security through my senses. Taurus is what connects us to the earth through our sight, the sound, our hearing, taste, touch. Whenever we're in our heads too much, we can come into our senses to help us ground. Moving down into the lungs, the throat, Gemini, the respiratory system, taking a breath of spirit. I welcome a time of clear communication, exploring my thoughts, expressing myself authentically, and embracing curiosity. This is that Gemini third house energy of communication, coherence, sharing our values, sharing what we see through our senses, sharing what we sense through our senses, comes through our throat. Chiron and Gemini heals the wounds of the throat. Moving down into the chest, our breasts, the high heart, the lymphatic system, Chiron and Cancer. And I invite you, if you want to touch that part of your body as we move down, you can do that. And again, we're not only healing ourselves, our societies are also going through these motions, right? So we can send it out as a fractal. Chiron and Cancer. I nurture my inner self, healing ancestral wounds, finding emotional security through heartfelt connections and self-care practices. Moving down into our heart, our physical heart, spine, solar plexus, where we stand up straight, begin to digest what we've seen, what we've communicated, how we feel, what we've received from the outside world, what we give to the outside world. It's where we begin to digest it. It's the Chiron and Leo. I embrace a journey of self-expression and empowerment, embracing my creativity, reclaiming my confidence, claiming my confidence, and shining authentically. Moving down into our deep intestines, Chiron and Virgo, also rules the integumentary, our skin. The skin is the largest organ in our body. It's where our internal is in connection to the external through our skin. In Virgo, where we analyze, synthesize. And Chiron rules Virgo. Chiron is the healer. Virgo is the healer. It has that healing energy. So Chiron rules Virgo. With Chiron guiding me, I embrace a time of healing, pursuing holistic wellness, nurturing self-improvement, offering service, and embracing the perfection of imperfections. Feeling the intestines receive that. Moving down into our kidneys, the immune system, Libra. Libra is the polar opposite of Aries. It's where our self comes into balance with the quote, other. It rules our immune system. And as Matthias shared, the immune system is not about defensiveness and building walls. It's about slowly integrating the other, bringing it in, learning how to adapt, learning how to be in relationship with the other, slowly building our immunity so that we can take more of the other in, recognizing it within. Libra is the polar opposite of that Aries, that courage, that determination, that masculine. Libra is the receptive, the feminine. It's where our kidneys can hold fear. It's where all that energy coming down our spine, if we're not using it, it can settle into this darkness. So in Chiron and Libra, I am on a journey of healing in relationships, finding balance, harmony, and cooperation in my interactions with the other. This is our vulnerable spot. We honor that. I honor that. And then moving down into our genitalia, Scorpio, sacral chakra, excretory system. I undergo, and this is Pluto as well. Pluto is activating the Scorpio within our charts. Another perspective, deeper look. I undergo a transformative journey of healing, facing deep emotional wounds, embracing vulnerability, and reclaiming my personal power. So this is where we get rid of the waste, get rid of the toxins that our body no longer needs so we can survive. Moving into Sagittarius, our thighs, the root chakra, the endocrine system. I discover healing through exploration and expansion, seeking truth, broadening my perspectives, and finding meaning in my experiences. This is where we've created and we've given our creations to the world, and now we move forward with our thighs and we go further to learn more in expansion and exploration, being guided. And then we're moving into Capricorn, the knees, the skeletal system. Skeletal system, the knees is where where we find, are we flexible? How flexible am I? This is where we connects us to our past and our future, where we've moved forward, where are we being held back, or where are we standing right now? I open to healing around issues of authority, responsibility, and structure, confronting limitations, redefining success, and building a solid foundation for growth. So this is the energy of the knees that do so much to hold our weight, to move us in all different kinds of directions. And then Chiron in Aquarius, the Aquarian energy is active now. If you have your Chiron in Aquarius, this is a deep time for you with Pluto moving through there, and all the planets there, if this is happening for you natally. I honor the journey of healing through collective consciousness and innovation, embracing my uniqueness, advocating for social change, and link with like-minded communities. So this is your ankles and your nervous system. And it's important that we keep our nervous system as we take in all this new information, to check in with our nervous system, breathing to help regulate. Are we regulating our nervous systems? And the ankles point us in the direction of our path with like-minded people, with our collective, and walking our own path, our uniqueness. And then finally, we're into Pisces, the feet. And that is our circulatory system. We make that connection to the negative polarity of Earth, the magnetism of Earth, coming from the electricity of the sky and the sun and the fire, creating our electromagnetic field, which pushes our blood up and down in this beautiful system, and our energy up and down into toroids. I embrace the depths of my emotions and intuition, knowing that they are my guides on the path to healing. My emotions and intuition are my guide. With compassion and trust, I release the pain, allowing love to renew me. I surrender to the process, transforming wounds into wisdom. Each step makes me stronger, more compassionate, and closer to my soul's beauty. And this is something you can use when you aren't feeling grounded. This can help connect you to your feet. And then going deep into the earth, going to the core of the earth, moving your feet to the core of the earth, and being enveloped by all the nutrients of our mother. This is the divine feminine. And resting here, feeling our heads connect to the base of our feet on earth. Coming up through our feet, our ankles, knees, thighs, pelvis, kidneys, intestines, digestive system, plexus, our heart, throat, neck, senses, and head. So that is my offering for you. Thank you to all who are there.
Thank you, Scott. That was so beautiful.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, really beautiful, like chills all over. Loved it. Thank you.
Excellent. And yes, and please make this your own, you know. This is recorded. You can come back to this as a guide. You can make it your own, but the message really is just to be in your body and recognize all the energy, the beautiful love that is here, that is inside the earth, that is all around us. We can get so distracted in our minds and being pulled out, and just a reminder to come back. And you all know this. We remind each other. Thank you for reminding me. Does anyone have any questions or comments or observations or anything? Just to, if anyone wants to just share their name, whatever you want to do to put yourself into the space, you're welcome.
Hi. Hi, my name's Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. I was really interested to see that Chiron and the North Node are actually 16 degrees on my chart tonight, which looks to me like they're obviously in conjunct together. But my Pluto, my natal chart is 16 degrees as well. So I actually was born with the grand trine of 16 degrees. So I feel like today has been a really good day for me. I've actually felt the best I've felt in a long time. And just sitting here looking through it all, because I've got 16 degrees of Pluto and the Sun and Jupiter, which is the grand trine, and then the conjunction of the North Node and Chiron. So I thought that was pretty amazing today. I was really pleased. Thank you so much for that. I'm also a wood dragon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That's
yeah,
beautiful. That's perfect. It's perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
I've had a lot of problems with one of my eyes. I had a detached gel last year in the eye. But today I've actually had the first day in the last year where I haven't got blurry vision and I feel so much more comfortable. So I just feel quite amazed today.
Beautiful.
So thank you. Yeah,
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing.
thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm going to ask a question, only it's a little separate from what you did, other than, you know, on the chart at the bottom, they give you this little,
Mhm.
did you print that off? Do you have it in front of you if I ask a question?
I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, what does this fortune and vertex, what do those mean?
The lot of fortune is, I don't work with a vertex. I think I looked it up once many, many years ago. Maybe Barbara knows. But the lot of fortune is calculated. It's the distance. It's also related to like that nodal eclipse kind of energy. It's where the sun and the moon, I can't give you the exact calculation. I mean, you can look it up, but where it is, it's sort of this balance of your ego, it's the sun, moon, and ascendant. It's that, or the relationship between the sun, moon, and ascendant. And so your lot of fortune tells you, yeah, like it says, like where you are fortunate, you know. And some people, like if you have the lot of fortune in your fourth house, maybe you came into wealth from your family, you know, and it just depends on which house it's in, you know. They can tell you basically where you're fortunate. It's the Arabic used lots. I think it's like ancient Sumerian or Arabic, I'm not sure. But you can, on astro.com, there's all these different lots that you can choose. And that's one of them.
I just like the word. I didn't know if it was somewhere exciting you guys weren't taking us, just to, you know, offset all this Chiron stuff.
Vertex is where it's located in your chart. It's also a calculation like the wheel of fortune or the wheel of unfortune, that it deals with other planets that are not so, they are called the malefics. So it's a mathematical, but the vertex is where is in your chart is in that area, something like predestined, is, if that's an English word, it happened to you. It's like something like a good luck or whatever. Is it can be something that is not that positive, but it was something that it was meant to happen. And the Wheel of Fortune is a Wheel of Fortune. I asked someone, and the Wheel of Fortune is like a mini Jupiter, and the Wheel of Unfortune is like a mini Saturn, something like that. It's compared in a level, like the same, similar energy, but in another level. It talks about the same. You're welcome.
Would anyone else like to share?
I just want to say thank you. That was a beautiful meditation. For me, it's not easy because I just go out of space, out of my body. For me, it's not easy to ground. I just go, I don't know if it's so deep to my own universe, but it takes me time to come back. And so normally I just do meditations or energy things like this when I'm by myself, and I know that I can stay in that energy for at least an hour. But I love it. It was beautiful. I'm gonna go take a nap now and connect with all my Chiron, Pluto, and North Node and everything, all my body systems. But thank you for doing that. That was beautiful.
You're welcome. Yeah, when we come down out of our thoughts and things, it might feel depressing to some, and I don't know, brings up that vulnerability, that like space of just the void. And that's a reality. That's a reality that where the light is coming from, you know, the black holes in our universe. And so relationship with that has meaning, I believe.
Can I say something about my own experience in general? Because, I'm a Virgo, I'm a Gemini, Virgo, Aquarius, so it's mind, mind, mind. So I am a lot of in my mind. The thing is, like, when I heard sometimes people say, be in your mind, it's like if people with a lot of air, if we don't connect with the water, or we don't connect with the fire or with the emotions, but we do. I mean, we all have the complexity of all in the chart, all in the area. And for me, and for people maybe with a lot of air, we do meditate and we do feel in a way more active, or in a way more imagining, or a different way. But there are meditations that are like dancing, that is going through the music, that is more active, more fiery. And for some people that have other elements, they need to come down or connect in a way that they go within. So I do believe, I did a long time ago, the Osho, they used to have Osho, the website, they had the meditations, there was dancing meditation to join online. And I realized that for me, more active was what it works. So it's a balancing of the elements, how you connect with the body, how you, so not for everybody coming down it works. For some people, the needs the same. I always talk like I need the ocean because it has the movement. The same with the meditation. The movement of the ocean is connect me that with the mountain and with the forest, with when it's more calm, it's too much for me. So I take it as a meditation. The comparison. I need movement.
I agree with you. I'm mostly fire and air. I have my only earth is Pluto and Virgo. That's my earth. And I have my Jupiter and Scorpio is my only other water, but everything else is fire and air. And in Aquarius, I have my lot of fortune in the North Node, and it's in the 9th house. And so it is a lot about, you know, sharing these ideas and getting into the ideas. And I love that. And I also experience imbalance within my body, right? And what I loved about what Matthias would say is that the body is the technology of the spirit, right?
Yes.
And our bodies are we've designed, the Grand Design Committee has designed these to hold our spirit and to help our light grow in this reality. And I believe that. And again, I
Yeah.
think it's so easy to be distracted, and we want to feel good, and we want to feel like, wow, and we want sparks to fly all the time. And we need downtime as well. We need time to come in and rest and remember. And the winter, you know, we need all of the cycles, right? And yeah, and that Aries isn't very impatient and doesn't want to wait and wants to keep going. Cardinal signs, really, cardinal
Yeah.
signs.
It's funny how each element, deal with the balancing in a different way, like trying to find their own missing element.
You know
Yeah,
what?
and
Sorry,
go,
I thought
go.
it's not.
Yes, please.
I wanted to share because I just going to say that universe and I am fantastic when it comes to synchronicities. And when I'm saying I mean all of us, because what it is that through these meetings, through the astrology dissection, I have a feeling that I live in all your bodies. Like I feel full universe. This is not just me. And Scott, actually, you inspire tremendously because my hurt higher it's really hurt. So, and I know I am on my path, but you need to have these reminders, which these groups are for, and this is wonderful. But on the other hand, and I have to actually right now prepare something for Philip's celebration. So I'm literally like in this matrix, the woman who was cooking at the stove and going into the universe. So I am meditating while I'm doing something, and it doesn't actually prevent me. I can walk and I am Andromeda. Like I can shoot and it's all good. But what it is that it's just the embracing wholeness, with these fractals of differences and weaknesses which create us strong. And that's what is amazing. This is what is amazing. It's just, we need to do this. And whenever it's Benedictine, I completely agree. We need to come as a global planet, embrace every single possible characteristics. Like my mission is a mother of autistic son. I need to bring this voice. I need to to understand all these little tasks we have. When we create, we are I am. And this is so beautiful to be part of this group. Thank you. I love it. It's
Thank
perfect timing.
you. Beautiful.
Okay, anything else to share, Scott, or everybody in the group? No.
I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being who you are. I'm very
Thank you.
grateful.
Thank you. That was beautiful. You're beautiful. Thank you for sharing from your Chiron that needed healing. My Chiron that needed healing, and everybody here. We needed to see us in those words that you just say in the chart that we presented earlier.
Yeah, Chiron is in my 11th house, and so that's what inspired me to be the tribe and share more about it today. So I would encourage everyone to find where Chiron, what house it's in, and bring some healing to that area. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, everyone, for showing up for yourself. It was fun. It was long. I hope it was recorded. And see you next time. We might do something else for the eclipses. Let's see,
Super.
but we'll see you on the other side.
Great.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Barbara. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Have a good day.
everyone.
Thank you.